Hello students, I hope all of you are fine. In the last class, we started learning topic. In that we have already covered meaning and definition of learning with types and some steps of learning. In today's class, we are going to start with laws of learning. Laws of learning was given by Edward Lee Thorndike, and he was also called as the father of educational psychology, and he conducted many experiments on trial and error learning methods and on animals. According to him, there are three major laws and six minor laws that are required for any learning processes. So now we are going to discuss all these laws one by one. So first of all, let's talk about the three major laws. These are, the first is the law of readiness, second is the law of exercise and practice, third is the law of effect. The first major law is the law of readiness. Law of readiness says that it is clear from its name, means ready. According to Thorndike, he said that one cannot learn anything till the moment he is not ready to learn. So that means whatever we want to do in our life, for that the first thing required, that is we must be physically and mentally ready to learn. If I am ready to learn anything in my life, then definitely I'll be able to learn that thing. So that means the first law that is required, that is one must be ready to learn. When once you are ready to learn, then we must follow the second law, that is the law of exercise and practice. Now when you are ready, now start practicing for that. Start doing exercise to learn that. So the more you are going to practice, more you will be able to learn. As there is a quote that says that practice makes man perfect. That means the more we are going to practice something, more we will be able to you can say practice that skill, and we are going to become perfect in that particular skill. So that means once you are ready, now start practicing that skill. Now whatever you are practicing, then we will move towards the third step, that is the law of effect. The law of effect says that whatever you are going to learning, whatever you are going to do in your life, that is going to give you two effects. That may either that effect will be positive or negative. The the learning effect, if the learning effect is negative, then it is going to give us tension. We are going to annoy. So I don't want to do that thing again. But on the other hand, if the effect is positive, I want to do that thing again and again so that I can become perfect. So that means law of effect also matters whenever you are going to learn anything. So these are the three major laws. Whenever we are going to learn anything in our life, we must keep all these three laws in our mind. Then there were six minor laws that was also given by Edward Lee Thorndike, in which the first law is the law of maturation. Law of maturation says that one must learn the things according to their maturity level. If one person is not practicing any skill that is not according to his or her maturity level, then definitely this person is going to face some problems or some difficulties while learning that particular skill. For example, if a student who is in 8th class, and if I am going to give him the question of masters or MPhil or PhD, then he will not be able to solve that thing. Why? Because this is not his or her maturity level. So that means whenever we are going to practice anything, first of all we must check our maturity level, so that we will be able to know about ourselves that yes, this is my maturity level, and this is the way how I'm going to learn this particular skill. Then there is a second minor law, that is the law of purpose. Law of purpose says that whatever we are going to learn, there should be some purpose. Means without any goal, if you are going to learn anything, there will be no use. So that means one must decide a goal whenever he or she is learning anything in his or her life. Then law of selection. Law of selection says that whatever we are going to learn, first of all, just you can say that just select the thing. Here I am going to correlate all these minor laws with one example. For example, now let's say that you are going to appear for an exam. Now, first of all, you are going to make a purpose that yes, I am going to take such uh, uh, let's say 80% marks in my exam. So this is my purpose. Then when you are able to decide your purpose, now you can apply the next law, that is the selection. That yes, for example, today I am going to study this subject, and in this subject I am going to study this topic. So that means I am going to select that this is what exactly I am going to do today. Then the law of association. Whenever you are going to study or whenever you are going to learn anything, try to make association between two or more than two things. It is going to make your learning easy. Association makes learning easy and comfortable also. So that means you can apply the law of association. Then the law of recency. Law of recency says that whenever you decide something in your life, for example, if I am saying that from today I am going to start my learning, but in the evening you say okay, it's okay, I am going to start it by tomorrow. So never do that thing. Whatever decision you have taken in your life, that yes, I am going to start my study from today, that means start from today itself only. You are not going to postpone your work for the tomorrow. Then the law of multiple learning. The law of multiple learning says that whenever we are going to learn anything, we don't learn only one thing at one time. We learn many things at one time. For example, when you are going to learn how to cook. So, when you are cooking, you are not learning only cutting the vegetables. Side by side, you are learning about many other skills. Um for example, uh, the quantity of the oil, it may be the quantity of the other spices, the water quantity, and even how many whistles, and proper time and frequency for the cooking material. So that means there are many things you are going to learn at one time during one learning skill. So that is called as the law of multiple learning. Now, after discussing upon the laws of learning, we are going to start with the theories of learning. Theories of learning includes many theories. For example, in this particular topic, we are going to talk about trial and error learning theory, classical conditioning theory, operant conditioning theory, insight learning theory, then social learning theory, and Stallman sign learning theory. In Now we are going to start with trial and error learning theory. Trial and error learning theory was given by Edward Lee Thorndike. He was the same person who has given this laws of learning, and he has also given this trial and error learning theory, who is also considered as the father of educational psychology, and he conducted many experiments on trial and error method. Now, what was the experiment? He conducted experiment on a hungry rat. Uh, what exactly he did? He conducted this experiment on a hungry rat first, second on a wooden maze. Wooden maze is just like a puzzle. On that wooden maze, there were many pathways, and each pathway was blocked somewhere in the middle except one. Then, what he did in the middle of that, you can say, maze, he placed some food because the rat was hungry. He placed hungry rat at the entrance of that wooden maze. The moment the hungry rat saw the piece of bread, immediately he just tried to get the food. But because there were many pathway and every pathway was blocked somewhere in the middle, so initially rat was not having the knowledge that which is the right pathway. So what was the main observation that was done by Edward Lee Thorndike? Initially, initially rat was continuously, he was just running towards the path. Let's say that he is running towards the first path, and because the pathway is blocked, then he came back, then he has chosen the another pathway, then again this pathway was blocked. So that means the in the initial day the rat was making rat was taking more trials and conducting more errors. But finally, after 9 or 10 trials and errors, he was able to find out the right pathway. And the same experiment was continued for till the day the rat was not able to reach the goal at very first glance. So first day if the rat was making 9 to 10 errors, the next day the errors, trials and errors were reduced, and slowly day by day trials and errors were reducing. So after 9 or 10 days, the the observation of Thorndike was that yes, after some days the rat was able to find out the right pathway at the very first glance, and he was able to get his food. Similar kind of experiments, a number of experiment was conducted by Thorndike on dogs, monkeys, hens, and cats, and the errors were reduced as the trials were repeated. That means what exactly he wanted to say in this trial and error learning theory, that whenever we are going to face any kind of situation in our life, and specifically if that situation is new for us, then blindly we can use this trial and error learning theory, that sometime it may be that we are going to be wrong, but yes, at last if I am able to find out the exact or right pathway, then definitely that means here I am able to learn this thing, that which is the right answer of my problem, or which is the right thing. So that means, yes, whenever we are going to learn anything in our life, initially we make some trials, we are going to do some errors, but definitely at the end of the day, we are going to learn that particular thing in a perfect manner. So now the question is that how this trial and error learning is effective for us. That is it useful for us or not? Yes, it is useful for us in many ways. First, whenever we are going to placed in a new situation and we don't know that how am I going to solve this problem, then in that particular situation blindly use trial and error learning theory, and you will be able to find out the solution of that situation. And even sometime you may have seen that sometime uh, with the help, whenever we are going to face any situation, I'm using my intelligence, I'm just tired after so many trials that I don't know how to solve my problem, then at the end of the day you can simply use this trial and error learning theory, and you will be able to find out the solution. And even in some situation, if you feel like the learner fails to find the solution of the problem by perception, understanding, intelligence, and language, in that situations also you can proceed blindly by using trial and error. It may be that you are going to commit some errors, but slowly and gradually you are going to eliminate your errors, and finally you are going to arrive at the correct response. So, if I am going to conclude this trial and error learning theory, what exactly Edward Lee Thorndike wanted to say, that yes, uh, trial and error means, trial means we are going to make some trials, means we are going to do some practices, and errors sometime we are going to do some errors also, but at the end of the day we are going to learn something. So that means when he conducted this experiments on different animals, and then he also said that the same learning is also useful for the human beings also, that whenever we are going to be placed in a new situation, whenever we are going to face any problem in our life, then and if you feel like I'm just tired of using my intelligence, I don't know how to solve this problem. In all such kinds of problems, simply use trial and error learning theory. And it may be initially you are going to feel like, yes, I'm committing so many errors, I'm taking so many trials, but yes, at the end of the day you will be able to solve your problem and you are going to reach your goal. So that means here, when you are able to reach your goal, this is only when you are using trial and error learning theory. Then